goals against in the season. Yaroslav Halak of the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis with Martin St. Louis on the same team as St. Louis. I know they might have a good team this year. They might have that extra step to make the to win the Stanley Cup. Watch out for St. Louis in the playoffs, even though we're not going to have to deal with them, but still, just watch out for them. Wins, we're not up there. Points, Stamkos, third in the league. So he didn't have his 60-goal season like we're accustomed to, but he had a shitload of assists, which is kind of flip-flopping because I think I know he had more goals than assists this year, but not in EA Sports' NHL 12. 32 goals, 61 assists. That first line was great because, look, in 8th spot, Martin St. Louis. Pretty much, he had 85 points, but I know a lot of those points came from playing on our team. So, our first line is great. Stamkos is great, man. Ugh. Assists. Yeah, look, Stamkos, 4th in the league. Goals, we're not up there. So, that's got to change. I got to get some playmakers to play alongside of Stamkos, definitely. We finished in 9th. Man, we only finished, 4 points out of the playoffs. Damn. If we won these 2 games right here, if we won the last 4 games of our, yeah, we could. You know what? We weren't too far away from the playoffs. That's why I wanted to keep Malone and LeCavalier. We are a playoff team. Well, not this year, but we have some studs in place. We just need to fill up the right positions: goaltender, defenseman, and some depth. And we're there. We really are. I'm glad I held on to LeCavalier and Malone. Western Conference looks like that. So the President's Trophy winner, your Buffalo Sabres. Very nice. All right, so let's do a whole season wrap-up here. Now, I was looking at your comments. You guys were saying, Johnny, turn the injuries on for the playoffs, even if you're not in the playoffs. I agree. Let's do that for the computer teams. Injuries on. All right, and also for our AHL team, if they are in the playoffs. I haven't been following that at all because there's no prospects on our AHL team. I could care less. We're 37-28. Where are the Admirals? Oh man, I don't know what our. I think Norfolk. I think it might be the North. I can't remember. Yeah, it is Norfolk. Look at these symbol. It's the same. Yeah, so the Norfolk Admirals are in 6th. So we're in the playoffs for our AHL team. So that's good. We'll leave injuries on for that. Good idea, boys. All right, so let's do a whole season wrap up here. Stats, player stats during the season, NHL. Let's see who did what for us here. I want to see. I want to see what our young guns did. Connolly, I want to see what kind of season this guy had. Forwards, points. So Stamkos, what a great season. 93 points and only 12 penalty minutes. Are you kidding me? You couldn't ask for more. The only thing about this guy that it's not as good is his face-off rating. That's it. Everything else I love. Ryan Malone, 70 points, so that first line was doing great. David Perron, 66 points. Half of those, or more than half of those points were probably on St. Louis. I want to see what he does on Tampa Bay. LeCavalier, 61 points. So we had 4 30-goal scorers. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Connolly, 33 points. Not bad. Get him some experience. Pyatt, Shannon, Schwartz, 11 points in 20 games. He didn't play any games for the other team that we traded him from. But in 20 games for us, he had 11 points. Pretty good. Pretty good for a rookie. That's pretty much all of our forwards. Let's see what our defenseman did for us. I want to see what kind of season Victor Hedman had. Ekman Larson, 54 points. I know a lot of those probably came from Phoenix, but this is what I'm talking about. Offensive defenseman. When you break 50, I mean, I'm used to all my defensemen getting, mid 40s, high 30s, and that's a good season. If you start breaking the 50-point barrier with a defenseman, I like that. And Victor Hedman, defensive defenseman, 31 points, very nice. All right, so that's our threesome right there, man. Larson, Shattenkirk, and Hedman, man. Watch out for these guys. These guys are going to get some points for us. Absolutely. And then goaltenders, Bernier, 2.66, and a save percentage of .908. Not bad, I guess. Could have been a bit better, but he got 55 games played, which is fine. So that's what I'm talking about. You see, that's a nice combination, right? I did the normal. I had injuries off, but every back-to-back game, and we can make some rules where if they lose 2 or 3 in a row, we can change them. But I think that's a good combination. 55 for the starter, 31 for the backup. I think that's a pretty good ratio for starter to backup. So I like this. I like this new way that we're doing this. All right. Yes, that's pretty much it. You know what? I'll just do this because we're not an NHL team. I don't like doing this because, watch, I'll show you. I want to show you guys the points for the NHL, but watch. If I got to switch to the NHL, look how long this takes from Tampa Bay. Ready? I'm going to go to the NHL. Look, Tampa to Toronto. Now look, listen. See, I'm trying to skip it. Look, it's stuck on Vancouver. Look how long it takes. Western Conference. All right, is it loading up the Western Conference? Oh, Pacific Division. You see what I mean? How it's so freaking delayed. Holy crap, EA Sports. Fix this stuff. Look how long it's taking. Look, it's just so delayed. And I skipped NHL. Oh my god, now I gotta go all the way back. Oh my god. EA Sports. It's little things like this, alright? I mean, stop giving me, freaking, what was the worst thing that they put in NHL 12 this year? The Winter Classic, alright? Honestly, who the hell plays the Winter Classic, considering you can only play it against the computer, unless you're playing split screen, or not split screen, but another player on your Xbox. That's the only way you can play the Winter Classic. Against another human who deliberately sets up an exhibition against the computer in the Winter Classic, alright? Stop wasting man hours giving me Winter Classic and give me stuff that I can actually use in this game, alright? Holy crap. So in the NHL, the most points during the regular season, Pavel Datsyuk. Alright, I'm not going to read them all out. I'll just go down the list here. I'll give you like the top 10-ish. Alright, there you go for points. There's our timer, so this is perfect. There we go for points for all skaters. Let me go to defensemen. Let's see who the top defensemen in the league were. Look how long it takes. Like, it's just, I can't handle it. Ekman Larson, 54. So Ekman Larson was the best defenseman in the league for points. Hell yeah, baby. And now he's a part of the Tampa Bay Lightning. All right, that could be good. Ehrhoff, Lidstrom, Coberley, Thomas Coberley. Yeah, okay. Pietrangelo, Gonchar, Niskanen. Yep. So, I think that was a huge trade. I want to see if he does this again for us this year. A lot of those points were probably from Phoenix, but still. We have Stan. He's going to be playing alongside Stamkos now. Watch. I want to. Oh, next year's shaping up to be good. The best goals against average. Let's see. It's probably going to find. Yeah, it's not this Tarky guy because he only had 2 games played. We'll start. It's Yaroslav Halak. 2.03 in 64 games played. Very good. And save percentage. Let's see here. His Tarky guy doesn't count. It's Backstrom. Backstrom and Halak. .927. Pretty good. All right. So we're at the playoffs here. You know what? I'll just do it in this video so we can start the off season in the next video. Yeah, I'll just do it in this video. Whatever. You know what? Hang on. Stop simulation. Let me just go to our AHL. I'm not going to go game for game, but let's just, whatever. We'll just go through the playoffs here. Let's see what our AHL team can do. Oh, you know what? I am going to stop the video here. You know why? Because we can send Stamkos and Lecavalier and all those players down to the minors to get them some more experience. All right, so what I'll do, we'll do that in the next video. And we'll start the offseason in the next video as well. Because, again, I'm trying to get them as much experience as we can. And you guys were saying that one-way contracts, they don't come into play once the playoffs start, which is great because then we can send Bernier down, all right? So we've started the playoffs. All right, we're up against, I think that's the Ottawa Senators AHL affiliate. Scouting assignments. Let's send them back out. What about that Kalela guy? How is he looking? Hang on. Simliga. 6 weeks. Top 10. All right, he's nothing special. All right, so we'll move on from him. Is there anyone else we can go after? 2 top 10 guys here. You know what? Since this Tremaine guy is top 10 as well, I know I don't want to get Grigorenko. I don't want another sniper right now. We'll just do it 6 weeks. QMJHL, baby. All right. So, boys, in the next video, let me just go to GM Tracker, see if we can add anything to our assistant coach. Yes, we can. We'll do that once, and we'll hold on to it for now. But, boys, in the next video, we're going to do our AHL playoffs, and we're going to move all of our players like Stamkos, Bernier, Perron, all of our young defensemen. They're all going to go down to the AHL to see if we can win that Calder Trophy. All right, boys, so in the next video, the AHL playoffs.